that. Anyway, since she has owned it, she has twice now for Christmas and now for Easter, done sponsored. Yeah, if you go to their Facebook page, I think they took the sponsorship down, but they are sponsoring like 90 seniors and giving them plants for Easter. And it's $20. And I saw this morning that they had filled them. Last I had checked, like yesterday sometime, they still had 12 to fill, but they had filled all of them. And so I just wanted to shout out a company that's like doing some cool things to help seniors feel a little more belonging. And they
I
do.
want to try these vanilla rum cashews. I got distracted. Shiny marble.
And if you live up there, they do deliver, and they do really great arrangements. I've sent my mom a fair few of those. So yeah.
That's beautiful. That's super beautiful.
It's really fun. Okay, so this is one of those threads, y'all, that like I partially agree with and I partially disagree with. We'll talk about it. I'm gonna read it first. So this is from Karina X Joseph, who I know nothing about. I just saw it and like was like, okay. The world still wants Black creativity. Obviously, that's the part I agree with. It just doesn't want to pay for it, protect it, or prioritize our rest. But we are still showing up, still creating, still dreaming. This is a thread for the Black creative navigating burnout, brilliance, and being seen. What are your thoughts, Flo? Because there are parts of this that I like fully agree with, right? Like we are still showing up, still creating, still dreaming. But one of the things that like you have said over the last for forever, like as long as I've known you, is that if we like identify and believe that no one wants to pay or uplift us because of whatever, right? Then no one will pay, protect, or prioritize. Like that belief and that identification with that, it systemically it may be true, but we have instances of examples that it is not true, right? There's evidence that it is not true. But I also see. Go ahead.
Someone that looks like me and you have thrived in every time imaginable. Someone that looks like you, someone that looks like me, someone darker, someone lighter, has thrived in every decade that those people were dancing in. This person is duplicitous. This person is on the gas pedal and the brake at the same time. The world still wants Black creativity, positive affirmation, just doesn't want to pay for it. Negative affirmation, protect it or prioritize our rest. Negative affirmation. But we're still showing up. Positive affirmation, still creating, still dreaming. Positive affirmation. This thread is for the Black creative navigating burnout, brilliance, and being seen. Negative affirmation. Y'all you really have to decide. We were talking about this earlier with the AI. We have to really decide, and you all have to really decide if you want to be abundant in your beliefs in these times or in a poverty vibration. We cannot decide for you. But this person hasn't decided yet. 38 people are vacillating with them. I am exhausted because those are the same number of words that could be put into a script. You experienced this when you were working on the Build the Table project in your local community. Tons of people wanted to complain about not having access to the space and the resources and the environments to hold them in their concern to be seen as multifaceted and credible talents. But we could not get them around the table more than 3 times to actually lift something that was positive.
Not even twice.
Yeah. So I think that we're moving towards a moment, and we've said it in Love and Action Network several times, where it's put up or shut up. As it relates to the revolution that is joy, y'all are either going to be actively in it day in and day out, or you're going to be seen as a person who needs to make up their mind. There are people who want to pay for everything, including what my feet look like. Stop playing and play accordingly, in the words of Angie. Stop playing and play accordingly. Tara, you watch more news than I do. Can you, in very layman's terms, to the best of your ability, frame up what's actually happening in Gaza right now as the latest? Are they dropping bombs or not dropping bombs? Are the people fed or not fed? What is happening over in the Middle East?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I very rarely do this, but I think I've listened to 2 news episodes this week, and have really avoided most news this week. And part of that is just because there is this like big, the news runs on capitalism, and everybody is trying to fight for attention. And so the last I had heard is very similar to this. Basically, like Rafah is gone, aid isn't able to get in. I think I saw that over 200 people were killed in a strike. And Israel has broken the ceasefire. There's some. It seems like there's some talks, but like, what can you trust? I guess. I don't know that I did hear tell from, and I haven't seen news on this really, but Ijeoma Olua mentioned that there had been rallies in America for Palestine and Gaza, but I had not, it didn't get the attention of the April 5th protests, get-togethers, parties, whatever you want to call those. Whatever you want to call it. And you know what? Have a party that disrupts, okay? Like, the people that have divorce parties, like, Flo said this last week, but like, let's have a protest party. You know what I mean? Like a block party, like get up in the street, get up on the highway. Let's have a block party with the barbecues, with the smokers, with the bouncy houses. Like, let's do it. Let's have a party.
In the name of something positive.
Right. So I haven't the news in particular, and even like leftist news, which is what it is because it's anti-Black for the most part. But anyway, even leftist news really doesn't talk about Israel and Palestine all that much. And I think a lot of that has to do with that so much of it is happening behind closed doors right now. And I don't think that the communication lines, even between Israel, like Netanyahu and the White House, are very open. And the last I had heard was Netanyahu was saying that they should finish the job and basically level all of Gaza. So that's what I know.
You can't be considered people who have a heart and do things like this. We can't be considered a nation of people who love others and do things like this. And everyone in our community and everyone that we talk to is responsible. Tara and I talk to each other daily, and we are responsible to this. We have been calling the network Love and Action into being responsible in our own ways for this. A responsible meaning that you have the ability to respond to the news that is saying that there is a group of people seeking to level the livelihood and complete infrastructure of a community that existed. Mostly brown people. Heavy on the eugenics. And we are standing back as a collective and watching these people be decimated. And Tara and I and team are just choosing to say, that's not okay. We're not going to mince words at the dinner table about it. We're not going to mince words in our private and public meetings about it. We have like 3 active genocides going on at the same time with more pending. And you all want to be silent in ways that is just unacceptable to me. And we're calling you out in these podcasts and in these sessions to call you back in to those piranhas, as we were talking about, of love. These spaces where people can come and be encouraged, equipped, and empowered, and hopefully it ripples out. If every light worker in every community chose to amplify and expand and to take up more space, we might be engaging a different kind of world. The ways in which I seek to contribute is through the Love Revival and Academy at Love and Action Network. We are actively recruiting creatives, business leaders, entrepreneurs, emerging creatives, and business leaders of all walks to come into harmony with their dreams and to learn the skills that are needed to cook a dream. This is what mine looks like for you AI unbelievers, AI non-believers. I love AI because it allows me to see myself in a visioning process in ways in which perhaps I'd never seen myself before. The whole choir has a crown. I have the crown. I've got the jacket. I've got the body. I've got the beard and the bow tie. This allows me in my quantum field work, for those of you who are part of my coaching programs, to really see myself in the highest version of myself. I need to send this to cousin Mimi. This is where I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know every twist and turn. You know, I have an idea.
I heard breathing behind me and I was like, maybe it's a spirit. It's the dog.
Which, the spirit of Millie or Moose?
Moose. He was just like suddenly very present. And I was like, oh my God.
We love you, Moose. We are a fan. And come on tour if you'd like to, Moose. We have adopted Moose into our soul family.
Moose is black and white, just like me, baby.
Yes, he is, and loved and lovable just like you as well. And we have started to assemble a tribe, if you will, of Black artists who want your help. They want you to share their content. They would like you to like the things that they do and comment and save and do your best, if you're out there listening, to pay it forward for artists who want to make the world a better place, especially those who are often made invisible because they don't look like the perpetuated status quo. I see color. And I know that there are certain colors of people who need more help than others. So we're not going to pretend like we don't see what is. We're going to meet the need. We're going to spread the seeds. We're going to water them. We're going to give them light. And we're going to watch these creatives grow. What has been your favorite part, Tara, so far about maintaining the Adopt a Black Artist program?
I have really, so last night we got a comment. I accidentally posted it twice on my Instagram, but we did get a comment on one of them. I don't know if it was the Love in Action one or if it was mine. But anyway, we got a comment from a person that I know in the community who said that they were listening to our featured artists album, and like that they had gained a new fan. And you know, as much as like follower numbers don't really matter, um, what does matter is the knowing somebody else out there is listening. Like that's why we put in the caption like, yo, we literally were just in public space listening to your single, and we loved it, and we're so excited to get to know you more. So my favorite part has just been, even if it doesn't like move the needle necessarily or get them thousands of dollars in donations, it at the very least is giving them exposure to communities that they may or may not have ever reached. And that is one of the like the foundational things about our relationship that we're now giving back, right? So like there, I would have never met Flo if it wasn't for the internet. I would have never met Poppy. I would have never met um, Angie. I would have never met Her Story True. I would have never met Angie Pangie. She's getting to be like me. She got 11 nicknames in the network. I would, you know, like there are so many people that I wouldn't have met outside of the internet. Like I think about Elena, I think about Fiona, I think about James, I think about Marcel. I think like all of these people that I would never have met had it not been for the internet, and like seeing some of them come forward and be like, I followed this artist, or I've been introduced to them, or I want to help them, or how, you know, like that's really inspiring to me. And I hope that those of you that are of the palm colored persuasion, if you consider yourself white and not an agent of white supremacy, that you decide to share one of these posts to your stories, or download the slides and post them on your own page, or nominate a Black artist that you know. Because as much as they might have success and you consider them to be more well off than you or ahead of you in some aspect, I guarantee you they could use more. And you can be an integral part of that. So that's been my favorite part. Also, the last week we had Lena, and Lena's grandmama nominated her, and I will probably never stop crying about that because I think that is just so beautiful. So anyway, those are my favorite things about the program so far. It's been really fun to be introduced to new artists and introduce you guys to new artists.
We truly do have the power to connect and bridge and love and care. And we decided in the network to get out of the way and just become that connection, and to be that connection, and to honor it, and to thrive in it. So we're excited about that. Y'all keep plugging in and nominating more artists. What's happening in your studio, Tara, as it relates to sponsorship?
Yeah, you know, as we were talking about earlier, money is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter when you tariff China 150%, and so much comes from China. That means that money gets tighter. So while currently I have a sustainable amount for this particular family, I still am keeping my goal at $200 a month in order to have a pool of funds that I can pull from at any given time, whether that is, you know, a student that needs subsidizing, somebody coming into Dr. Flo's studio, a donation-based student, someone that just needs a little bit of help, or even creating an album, etc. I just want a pool of money to be able to pull from, and $200 a month, I don't think is a huge ask from even my corner of the world.
All things are possible to those who believe. We're believing for the sponsorship of $200 a month. You know, you all can, 20 people giving $10 each a month is something that can be done. And we will just continue to believe, right. Ask, believe, and receive. We will continue to believe in ourselves enough to ask, believe, and receive. We will continue to honor the callings in our heart that the world deserves access to education, no matter what they make. If y'all want to be part of something bigger than yourselves, as we unite the talents of diverse artists all over the planet to celebrate the power of love through music, theater, and art. We would love to hear from you. It's one of the top links on our websites now, in addition to our newsletter that wasn't there, but we put it back. We are committed here to having fun with our daily lives and to spread that through all kinds of programming. Private studios, artistic offerings, the holding of space and listening online. These are all powerful ways that we show up in community and seek to build in that power of love. It's not something that's always exciting. I bore people daily on TikTok, but it is something worth having. Peace in your heart that then gets put into art that brings peace and joy and hope to other people. I think it's worth it. And if you are out there wanting to sink your teeth into something new and fresh and vibrant, let me know. I would love to get your audition through the website. I also would like to teach all of you how to use your voice, how to speak up for GASA, how to speak up for your creative expression.
I was trying to get to the mute button, but I couldn't get there. So I gotta be quiet.
I'm just hoping that it didn't explode out the other end, because I know when you try to close the top, it may explode from the bottom. Listen, folks, free masterclasses daily. You just saw how to sneeze on a podcast without losing your shit. What are your closing thoughts, Paolo? I love you so much. Thank you for your partnership and the daily giggles. There was a question earlier in the week in the morning room with Dr. Flo, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, every day online in some capacity. There was a question about laughing out loud and what makes you laugh out loud and what brings you joy. And we got a whole conversation happening a few days ago in the morning about the laughter and joy pouring out of her face now. We find a reason to laugh every day in Love and Action Network, and we do invite you all to come and laugh with us as often as you'd like.
Yeah, like life isn't, it just doesn't have to be that serious. I think that a lot of people out there look at activism and look at social justice and look at, fighting the man or whatever version of that you have in your language that feels good to you, and you think it has to be super serious. You think it's like head down writing papers, like going out and being so serious and knocking on people's doors and being like, please sign my petition, this is such a bad thing happening. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be saying, hey, I've got a boombox. You want to go to the park? Like it can be, hey, I'm getting this group of kids together and we're going to put on a show. It could be, I want to read this really funny book with you. It could be escaping into fantasy and having a discussion about how that resembles and disresembles real life. There are so many different ways to participate, and they don't all have to be showing the world how stout you are in your belief. Like, it doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to look like using all caps for the word creative. It doesn't have to look like that. It can look like joy is the revolution. And those of you on the internet that are like, joy is not the revolution, I don't understand you. And I'm glad you're not in my circle. I'm glad you're not. But for those of you that want to experience joy and want to tell other people about your joy, we're your people. You want to tell people about your love? You want to show how you love? You want to put your love in action? We're your people. We are your people. We laugh every single day at stupid shit, serious shit.
And it also goes back, Tara, to one of the core premises that we talk about in Love and Action Network. almost daily. I think we talked about it earlier in here today. What kind of days do you want to have, beloved? Like, we're making these choices, and Tara could teach a whole masterclass on choices. We are making choices daily about how we want our days to unfold. Do you really want to have a good day? That's like a real question that I pose to so many people on threads and in real life. Like, are you committed, Tara, Poppy, Angie, Her Story, Cece, Jimmy Jams, Flo, you name it. Are y'all committed to April 12th being a good day for you?
He just checked the date, y'all. He looked at the corner of his computer.
I sure did. I have no clue. The other day, Poppy Water woke up and said, "It's Friday, King. Happy Friday." I said, "It's Friday." When you become an entrepreneur and you become immersed in the work, and you also have very, very strategic ways of disconnecting from the work when you need to disconnect from the work, you do forget what day it is.
You do.
But as long as you got joy, baby.
Joy, joy, love's great joy. I almost said God, and then I was like, I don't believe in God today. Sorry, Charlie. Oh well.
Something is scientifically holding it all together.
Something happens when I call you. Thanks for watching, y'all. We really should ask some of our friends to like write a little closing.
You want a jingle?
I don't know. It might be fun.
Listen, we have friends in high and low places.
I've got a friend in
low
places
where
the places my
blues away. You love lovable folks.
Okay,
We love you.